Holy shit. He said what?
I think our character, who we are at your core, I don't think that shift.
That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
If you're wondering, is it true? Did Joe Rogan really just drop the hammer on Meghan Markle? The answer is yes.
I think a lot of behaviors and habits and roles that you end up playing in your life can bring out the best or worst in a lot of people, but you're still who you are.
Like, guys, you don't gotta do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
I'm a little bit vintage in many ways because I'm from a time capsule of handwritten notes. You have to imagine Siri's not on my phone. I don't have location service, things like that I'm not caught up in the day-to-day tech things that most people are. Imagine Siri's not on my phone. I don't have location services. Back on Instagram was a really big decision, but also it's just been joyful. I'm really intentional in using it as a platform to share joy and to have fun as well.
The internet is on fire and the walls are finally closing in. But this isn't just about one podcast. This is about a series of stunning contradictions, a web of alleged fabrications that is now completely unraveling on the world stage.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
Actually get a drink in peace?
Yes,
Yeah.
we go out a lot. I love it a lot in our community, in Montecito and in Santa Barbara.
I didn't think this interview could get any worse, but it sure did.
Whispers are turning into shouts. So what was the single biggest fabrication he exposed? And what does this mean for her crumbling brand? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will see the entire scandal in a shocking new light. And we have one final question that will change everything you thought you knew.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time? There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s.
Let's set the scene. The comedy world and the commentary sphere are in a total meltdown. It's a public roasting of epic proportions, the kind that makes you cringe and laugh at the same time. The central question on everyone's mind is this: will this finally be the grand reveal the public has been waiting for? Is this the moment we see the carefully constructed facade finally shatter into a million pieces?
When you sell out that quickly, it's a double-edged sword because it's an incredible thing to happen.
Dude, you're selling like 10 jars of jam. You will not show the figures. They even admitted it. Bloomberg's, we don't know what her figures are, but she's sold out. Yeah, because you're doing this fake sellout where you sell 10, 20 products and then, ooh, we're sold out.
The second seasonal drop and 10x our inventory and thought,
So she went from a 10 to 100, allegedly.
for sure, that would at
They're not gonna buy 100 of these dumb jams. Dude, I bet you bought them yourself.
least last for a couple weeks. That sold out in a couple hours. And suddenly the conversation goes from at the start of this year talking about a few thousand jars and lids to we need to do a purchase order of 1 million.
The drama allegedly kicked off with what seemed like an innocent question about her daily life. But her response, a beautifully phrased lament about not having time to churn her own butter, reportedly became the first thread pulled from the sweater. Because what she said next, allegedly, completely contradicted this entire narrative of being too busy for the basics.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
But I'm really unapologetic about the fact that though would it be lovely to go and churn your own butter? Sure, maybe. I don't have time for that.
You literally waste time in your garden all the time to get flour sprinkles, so you say. How do you have time for any of this?
I don't have time for that. I'm great at ordering takeout and plating it beautifully. And look, and yes, do I have small things where even on my kids' plates, I wipe the side of the plate? Someone might go, oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. For me, that's 2 seconds where I get to present something that looks a little bit more beautiful.
I cannot imagine having a meal with Meghan Markle or trying to cook and she's literally cleaning, changing the order on the plates to make. No one cares. I just want to eat.
Rumors say the interview quickly spiraled from there. Immediately after painting herself as too swamped for homesteading, she allegedly launched into a detailed description of her meticulous process for arranging food on her children's plate. You can't be too busy for a home-cooked meal but have all the time in the world for an edible art project. The hypocrisy, as some commentators have noted, is so thick you could spread it on toast.
So in less than an hour?
44 minutes. I was shocked.
How do you keep up with demand?
When you sell out that quickly, you actually It's a double-edged sword because it's an incredible thing to happen for any small business and any startup. And at the same time, you don't get the same metrics and learnings about which SKUs and products are the most coveted because it's all gone immediately.
The question was, how do you keep up with the demand? This is not the answer to that question. She's telling a little story. A whole lot of snapping of the fingers and things being gone immediately and that kind of thing.
The most coveted because it's all gone immediately.
From 2011 to 2017, I was the entrepreneur in residence at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. And I helped startups and new CEOs get funding for their companies. I taught them how to pitch, how to get their body language happening so they could be trusted when they're pitching and asking for money. So before I helped them, I'd have to look at their business and make sure everything they said was going to happen was going to happen. I had to make sure everything they were saying was true. And when I heard stuff like this, I wasn't into it. I said,
This was the first major crack in the foundation. It's a classic case of trying to have it both ways, of presenting a perfectly plated image that, upon closer inspection, might just be leftover takeout from 3 days ago. But this was just the warm-up act. Then, the conversation allegedly turned to her new lifestyle brand. The interviewer, according to sources, asked about the rumored success of her debut product Sellout. Her response is where whispers say Joe Rogan and others completely lost it. She reportedly described the Sellout as a double-edged sword because they couldn't get the metrics. Let that sink in. For anyone who has ever run a lemonade stand, let alone a business, that statement is allegedly hilarious and revealing. When something sells out, you have the ultimate metric, 0. This whole response felt like a carefully crafted story designed to sound successful without providing a single concrete number. It was a performance, and we were the audience.
Yes, absolutely.
How long does it take to develop each product? What's that process like?
Oh, goodness. I'm exasperated in some ways by that only because it is such a tedious proposition to scale your own home recipe.
It's not your home recipe. Don't keep trying to claim that it is.
To something at mass and maintain the same, not just quality, but the same flavor that you're able to do at home. And I think any home cook would say that. If you say, great, can you make your cobbler that I love? I say, great, of course I can make my cobbler. Great, can you make 1,000,000 cobblers? Can you teach someone how to make 1,000,000 cobblers that taste just like the one that you have at home?
I love how she's like introducing like it's the first time anyone's ever done this. Like, girl, so many people do this. It's like, yeah, go hire a company who can do.
But the alleged fabrications were just getting started. She then made a bold claim about the exasperating process of scaling up her home recipe. This was a heartfelt plea for understanding, but insiders say it felt more like a performance than a real entrepreneurial struggle. The reality of food production on an industrial scale involves co-packers and shelf life testing, not a romanticized kitchen fairy tale. Her discussion reportedly lacked any of the nerdy technical details a true founder would know. This made many wonder a very dangerous question. Is she truly the mastermind behind this brand? Or is she just the polished face of a marketing campaign for a much larger unseen company?
Your cobbler that I love. I said, great, of course I can make my cobbler. Great, can you make 1,000,000 cobblers? Can you teach someone how to make 1,000,000 cobblers that taste just like the one that you have at home?
that's not the way